Raul Martinez is the oldest of three brothers traveling together on Honor Flight 7. Raul was drafted into the Army Air Corps when he was 18 years old. Trained as a firefighter, he was sent to Japan during the height of World War II. Raul remembers the country in shambles after months of air raids.
It was torn down. Everything was torn down to pieces.
He has vivid memories of rescues he was involved in.
Sometimes they crash on the bottom when they land, and we have to recrew them, take them out of the plane, and put the fire or whatever. And so we had to keep those people alive.
While Raul was stationed on a United States base in Tokyo, his younger brother Joe was on the USS Saugatuck in the Pacific Ocean.
We were, it was a refueling ship. We carried oil and diesel and gas for the warships that we had around us.
While refueling ships near Saipan, the USS Saugatuck was attacked by Japanese aircraft. Joe will never forget what he saw that day.
And I could see the planes coming like that, and I saw him turn veer off, coming off it, and then all of a sudden, one of them goes alongside us on the left side and dropped a bomb right there in front of us off the port, but missed the ship. The shrapnel, however, will come up into the, and we had a little gun tub above us, and there was one of our comrades was sitting there with the binoculars and helmet and all, and a piece of shrapnel or something flew up and cut the binoculars. His fingers went into his neck, come out the top of his head.
Joe describes the state on the ship at the moment, people running around, shouting, no one fully understanding what had actually happened.
And he says, "What's that man doing there? Tell him to get up." And somebody said, "He's dead." That still hits me.
Both Raul and Joe Martinez returned home from war. They married and created a life for themselves in San Antonio. While they were settling back into life out of the service, their younger brother Eddie was getting ready to start his career in the Air Force.
I went into the service shortly after high school, graduation. I entered August of 1950, and I was in for 4 years until 1954.
Eddie was a radio operator during the Korean War.
We communicated with Clark, Fukuoka, Tokyo, of course us, and Guam, and it was all sending messages back and forth, position reports from the aircrafts that we got.
Unlike his brothers, Eddie was never directly involved in conflict, but he explains he was ready to do whatever he needed to serve his country.
Some of us were not really right where the action was, but we were there in case we were needed.
Eleanor Joring also felt that pull. She wanted to serve her country when she was just a little girl.
Everybody did something during World War II.
Eleanor's military career began at the age of 13 in the Civil Air Patrol. World War II had just started, and Eleanor wanted to do her part. Since she was too young to enlist, the Civil Air Patrol provided her and thousands of others the opportunity to assist in the war effort. When she was old enough, Eleanor went to nursing school and later enlisted in the Air Force. By that time, World War II had ended, but the United States was involved in another war. Eleanor was sent to Korea.
I was a nurse and I did bootleg air evac. We had a little hospital, an Air Force hospital, and we were much better off than the Army nurses were, much better off. And it was rather primitive. We had running water 1 hour twice a day, and I was running an operating room. And so that was a real challenge.
After 13 months in Korea, Eleanor returned home. She has nothing but fond memories about her time in the Air Force.
Everybody has a different story.
Joe Olachia is one of the younger veterans traveling on Honor Flight 7. Joe signed up to be a Marine in 1964 and was deployed to Vietnam in 1966. Joe remembers the downtime with his company, playing cards, ping pong, and just regrouping in between the fighting. But those memories are often overtaken by darker times.
They called us in for what they call the bald eagle, which meant we had to go rescue another company. We got on choppers that night, and we walked half of the night. And next day when we got there, bodies all over the place.
Joe talks about guarding the perimeter that night and a moment when the North Vietnamese crept into their camp.
It didn't. I didn't. I didn't think I was going to see my 22nd birthday.
Joe made it to his 22nd birthday, but many of his friends didn't. This honor flight to see the memorials of the wars these men and women fought in means so much to these veterans and allows us to honor them for the many sacrifices they made for this country.